Hey, SurgeCast listeners. As the podcast grows, of course, we're going to have new sponsors join us along the way, and we're super excited to share that with you because there's also some deals for our listeners. And we've got a new one coming up here, so listen up.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code THPN. Summertime in the trimming is easy. So another Sebastian Aho discount, as always, with all of our other podcasts and sponsors. The Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra has everything you need to repair that summer bod. Every man knows how scary it can get when going close to shave below the belt. That's why I trust Manscaped for all my sensitive areas. Inside this package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth whenever your heart desires. We also have dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, 3-length sitting combs, and did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? Beach, lake, or shower, this razor will devour even the strongest pubes. Now you have the perfect haircut. Use Manscaped's liquid formulations to keep that freshness even at the hottest summer barbecues. The Crop Soother Aftershave Lotion and Crop Preserver Anti-Chafe Ball Deodorant. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to the Performance Package 5.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. More wet products, say no more. Manscaped's new Buff Bundle is all you need to keep the summer heat a breeze. This bundle includes their signature silicone scrubber plus body wash. Ditch your nasty loofah and grab a taste of freshness. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code THPN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code THPN at manscaped.com. It's smooth sex summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind.
Use the Sebastian Aho discount code, and you can be as fast as Connor McDavid on the ice. Fast, smooth, and whoo. Anyway, welcome, guys. It's episode 43, season 3 of the SurgeCast. And guys, we love having new sponsors, but we're always going to have a little bit of a fun time reading that. Manscaped just makes it real fun.
Just the way they phrase this thing is, it's like, man, you kind of have to hold back a little bit from like laughing.
As it continues, we might even get some personal stories from Zach. You never know. Or we'll have some guests come in.
I don't know about personal stories, but we'll have some guests probably read it off too, though, because
they'll be their initiation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yes, of course, welcome anybody that has skipped to this part so far. Again, this is season 3, episode 43 of the SurgeCast. I'm Kat.
I'm Zach.
And we're still in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's wild.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you have the longest distance travel, and then you have 2 days between games. You're talking 2 days between game 5 and then game 6, and then it's just, this series should already be over. The travel days are just brutal right now. How the fact that it's going to take 2 weeks to possibly get this thing done, it's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, the Panthers just really needed to close it out, but I mean, the Oilers are clawing their way back in.
Hey, no pun intended. But hey, you know what? It also doesn't help when Bobrovsky decides to go pre-2023 playoffs, where he gives up over 6 goals on average. His save percentage is under 8. Not great, Bob.
But only from 2 games. No one could score on him besides that, and then all of a sudden 2 games. The Oilers decide to be the team we saw earlier in the season.
I mean, hey, when Connor McDavid goes back-to-back 4-point games, I mean, he's inevitable. You can't keep him off the score sheet for long, and yeah, I don't know. I can. the fact that the Panthers like even brought like over 140 people to like Game 4, flew them back to Florida, and I'm gonna have to fly them back for Game 6 is insane.
I really do think that Brady Chuck is a bat, like he's a jinx. I would not. I'd be like, hey, love you, bro, but do not come to my game tonight.
Oh yeah, he brought the Senators' bad voodoo and just brought it with him, and it's just like he's just cursing the Panthers at this point. Like, you know what? Just stay at the hotel. Don't even show up at the rinks. Just stay away. I don't want you here.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this. We got what? One more game, maybe 2 more games in the season for the playoffs, and so I mean, now's the time that if you are going to get any of your bets in with our other sponsor, highly say do it now. I mean, I had a couple of friends bet on Bob, and now that bet's kind of looking a little crispy at the moment. But as we were saying, the chase of the Stanley Cup continues, and the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is just as hot as it is on the ice. The same game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the Stanley Cup playoffs wind down. I mean, maybe we might have one more game. We might have 2 more games. You never know.
Yeah.
Zach, I think you have a couple odds for the upcoming game, don't you?
Yeah. So the game is actually tomorrow night on Friday, 8:20 p.m. start. The money line right now has the Florida Panthers at a -102, the Edmonton Oilers at a -118. In terms of the puck line, the Panthers are a +1.5, set at a -258, and the Edmonton Oilers are a -1.5, set at a +210. The over/under right now for this game, Kat, 5.5, but the Panthers are over 5.5 at a -110, while the Oilers are under 5.5 at a -110 as well.
I honestly don't know who to bet on at this point because the Panthers are they're fizzling out a little bit, and the Oilers are heating up.
Yeah, I would say most likely go for player props.
If in doubt, bet on McDavid. So if you are new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THBN. That's code THBN for new customers. Get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/ice for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Copy NHL 2024. All rights reserved. Woo! Guys, bet responsibly. That's pretty much what we're saying. Have fun. You got maybe two more games. Bet on your favorite player. Bet on the player of the league. Bet on the goalie that's been hot until recently. Do whatever you want. Just do it responsibly. And we hope you win big.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you who's not responsible right now in some of these GMs for these teams. They're like, you know what?
Are we talking about the Capitals acquiring
Pierre-Luc? Yeah. Well, that one, and also the Markstrom trade too. The GMs are like, you know what, Gary Bettman, we're not going to wait until your Stanley Cup playoffs are over. We're going to start making moves now. And yeah, I did not see this one coming yesterday for the fact that you look at Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to the Washington Capitals for Darcy Kemper, and there's no retained salary on either side.
Neither team is retaining salary. That's a win. The contract that the Kings had him on was not a win. This trade is a win for them. Many people around the league.
You fixed your own problem.
Many people around the league have determined that the Caps bought cap friendly just so nobody could go in and look at how bad of a contract this is.
yeah, basically make fun of him and stuff like that. And I think it was Annie OD that said it, or it was someone that mentioned the fact that you saw Rob Blake literally traded Velarde and Isla Follow and another guy in a second round draft pick, essentially for Darcy Kemper. Because the guy you got was there for a season. You gave him an 8 by, I think it was an 8.5, and then you automatically sent him right back a year later to the Capitals for a goaltender. Like, you basically gave up like 3 guys in a draft pick for an okay goaltender. Like,
yeah, I will say, as much as we can complain about some of the moves the Canes make, they're never like this.
Yeah, I think Rob Blake he was a good hockey player. As a GM, I don't know what he's doing, because I don't know why he gave up all those guys to get PLD, sign him to that deal, and then a year later trade him. You luckily don't retain any of it, which, okay, I guess the Capitals really need some draft cap. I don't know what they need that money for. Yeah, you get a goalie because you know what's going to happen with Cam Talbot, British, Phoenix Copley. I mean, you do get a former Stanley Cup winner in Kemper, but at the same time, it's like, why? Why would you give up all those assets just to trade the guy you give all those assets for a year later? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, what? It's just wild how that worked out. It's like, I mean, hey, good for you, got into that contract, but the way you did it doesn't make any sense.
Yep, and I think recently the Rangers waived Gaudreau recently.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and the San Jose Sharks picked him up to avoid the no trade clause part of his contract. From what I've heard, Gaudreau is not happy how that went down.
Oh, I wouldn't be.
It's like, hey, they're part of my no trade list. Too bad. It's not a no move clause; it's a no trade clause. And have fun in San Jose.
Oh, have fun in San Jose. But in positive news, as we're talking about all the crazy things the GMs are doing across the league, Tulski's here to stay.
Oh, we also forgot to mention Jacob Markstrom is now a New Jersey Devil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because a first-round draft pick, which I think is conditional for 2025, I believe. I think it's what it was the year. I can't remember now. And also Ball, the defenseman, is also going back to Calgary. So yeah, now we get to deal with Jacob Markstrom this season for a few games since he's now in the Metro.
That's all right.
And PLD will just do his normal. I'm going to not put up points, even though I make $8.5 million and kind of glide around on the ice. So
yeah, but anyway, again, happy news. Eric Tulski is here to stay. We are new GM. And honestly, all of the things he said in his press conference was kind of gold. And get yourself a GM that can do multiple things. I mean, this guy has patents pending. I think he has a PhD. And I think there's a couple of comments being like, oh, well, he never played hockey. And it's like, there's lots of GMs that didn't play hockey. That doesn't matter. And again, really I don't think people understand how much he was in behind the scenes and working on stuff while Don was here. Like, he was a very much, I think Don was a lot more of the face of everything. And I think Tulski was because there's many people worried that we were going to lose Tulski when people were looking for GMs and different stuff. I think Tulski had his hands in a lot more pots than people realized. You just didn't see it because he was behind the scenes. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be interesting, but it's a new change up, and it's an exciting change up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very exciting. Like you said, he got a PhD in chemistry. He's done all these things. He's been with the team for over 10 years now. He was a former blogger, led the analytics department, led the pro scouting department too. So a lot of hats for him. And honestly, we all thought it. We all knew it was going to happen because, he's an interim GM. They might look somewhere else. It was the due diligence move. Let's be honest.
I mean, our last couple in-house hires have been really good. So you get Waddell when he was promoted, and then you get Brendan Moore behind the bench. And now you've got Tulski going into the GM. I'm good with the in-house hire. I love our team is such a family that you want someone that knows how the Canes operate.
Well, right. And the thing with a lot of people are like, oh, well, if he doesn't get picked, he might leave because he might be upset. But then it's like, well, no, if you look at what Corey Laviolette did with him, he sat down with Darren York and Eric Tulsky, and they both said, if we're not picked, we're not going to leave Carolina. It's like, we're not going to pick up our toys and leave the sandbox. Like, they want to be there. So, yeah, now you have Tulsky as the full-time GM. You still have Darren York as his assistant GM. Now it depends on what, they're going to probably add some other bodies now to take over for probably the analytics, probably pro scouting and stuff like that, because now Tulsky's, running pretty much everything. So, yeah, it's an overall great selection by the Canes to make him the actual GM, take the interim tag off. Now you go get some other bodies as well. And, yeah, that presser was so great. He's like, we didn't hire Chat
GBT, yeah.
Yeah, he's already like saying the right things, making you feel good about what's the future is like for the Hurricanes. And there's a lot to talk about from just that presser and just what he said over the last few days about
so you get, and we'll keep talking about a few things that you talked about, but we also have to talk about another change up in the Canes. Is the CMO Mike Foreman has left the Canes. And we wish him all the best because, of course, we reached out to our insider, Dan Lataraka, and we were like, what does this mean? Honestly, he just gave some encouraging words on both. He said that he's had some interaction with Tulsky, and he said they would joke around and stuff on the back end, which is great. Like, if you can joke around with your new boss, that's a good sign. Yeah. And then, of course, he said, like us, like very excited for Mike and his new opportunities. And then Mike honestly had a lot of he did a lot of things with the Canes. He oversaw the digital, the social, creative, social, video, retail, in-game entertainment, sports gambling, broadcast partners, naming rights, special events, mobile app, all of these things.
He also helped bring the Stadium Series to Carolina too.
Yeah, so he had a lot of big things that he helped with. So it's going to be a little bit of a change up going on in the behind the scenes. But again, knowing Dan and his team, they are going to continue with these efforts, and it's just going to stay as awesome as it has been. We're just going to have to see. Now Dan's schedule probably just got busier, so we'll see the next time we get to talk to him.
Yeah, it might be next year, right after the new year, possibly. It's like, hey,
we'll be like, hey, with all your new responsibilities and new baby, do you have time to come talk hockey with us a little bit?
He's like, leave me alone. I got stuff to do.
But yeah, so there's going to be not only on the team roster, but also some behind the scenes people are also, it's a change up. So it'll be interesting to see going into next season how everything plays out. But talking about the new GM and some of his comments have been very encouraging, especially a lot of people. Of course, one of the first couple of questions they were asking him about was getting players back, and Jarvis was a hot commodity name that came up, of course. And so they say pretty much he was saying he'll be locked up long term, but they have to work on a lot of the UFAs first.
Yeah, which makes sense. And I know Tulsky said when he talked to Luke DeCock, he's like, they want to make it, they want to try to make it an 8-year deal, but will it officially be 8 or somewhere close to, and then what's the amount going to be? So it's a foregone. He said Seth Jarvis is going to be a Hurricane for a long time, so it's a foregone conclusion. It's just going to happen. It's just what specifically is the number and how long it's going to be. But.
And Jarvis already said it multiple times during the season when people asked him. He said, "I know there's a lot of guys that need to get signed before me." He's like, "So I'm really excited about it, but I do know that there's a lot of guys they got to figure out before me." So I don't think it's a question of if he'll be signed. It's a question of when and for what.
Yeah, well, he also said too in his exit interview, he's taken as the Brett Pesce, line of, I'd rather stay somewhere happy and make my money there rather than go and just chase it and not be happy somewhere else. So he'd prefer happiness over just going for the bag, which, I mean, all power to these guys to go get their money. But, the fact that he's already at 22 knowing, like, I'd rather be somewhere where I'm happy and make what I can there rather than just go somewhere else just for the money. And then it's
yeah.
We
have some other good news though. Is we're sticking around in Kathmandu for a little bit, huh, Zach?
Yeah, we get a few more seasons of our travels to Kathmandu to make sure everyone packs their bags. I don't know what the weather's like there, so pack accordingly. But yeah, 3 more seasons at $3 million per. Very, very nice. You can't go wrong with that. I know the first 2 years are full no move clauses, and in his last season of his deal for 26-27 is a modified 15-team no trade list. So very happy for him. I think he could have gotten over $4 million in free agency, but I think for the fact that you add on the no move clauses kind of helped him come down a little bit on the number of how much per season to keep him in Carolina, and knowing that he doesn't have to worry about getting traded somewhere because of the no moves. And the thing too is a lot of his money is based on his signing bonus, not his actual base pay as well. I think his base pay is under $1 million all 3 seasons, and a lot of it's to the signing bonus, which if anything does happen, which I'm hoping nothing does, but if there's a chance of a lockout or something or a buyout, he is owed that signing bonus. So that's a guaranteed money. The base is not, but the signing bonus is a guaranteed part of the contract. So a lot of nuance.
Yeah. So it's, in other words, to me, if anyone else kind of got their eyes glazed over a little bit about all the different signing and the money and the monopoly and all of that, it kind of means that we at least have our 2 lines kind of locked up. I mean, now the rumors are about talking about Slavin getting his extension, and if the rumors are true, kind of a steal.
Yeah, Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts talked about how he thinks that the Slavin deal he's believed that it's done. He doesn't specifically know what the numbers are, but he believes from what he's been told, it is going to be an 8-year, $6.5 million per contract. And for someone at 29, he thinks that the Hurricanes really do believe in Jacob Slavin to give someone that much term as a team who doesn't really give term to guys around that age. So it speaks a lot to who Jacob Slavin is and how much they trust him, which you should. To give him at 29 years old an 8-year extension, which would kick in after this upcoming season. So he'll be here until he's at least 37 or 38, depending on when his birthday falls. But if that number is true, every player on that Hurricanes team should be buying him steak dinner for the next 2 seasons, because that is an absolute steal for the Canes to get the one. He's the best defenseman, the best defensive defenseman in the league. You're keeping him under 9 and under 7.
That's just utilizing the character of the player, and also the fact that he's settled here. He's wanted to be a Hurricane for life. I don't think he wants to uproot his family. No. So that's been the plan, and we are ecstatic about it. Again, it's not officially announced, but those are the rumors of it. So it's kind of nice to hear. That's being said, with those 2, you have Slavin, Burns, Chatty, and Orlov, and then with those done, you can just stress about Shea and Pesci a little bit longer.
Right. So the reason why the Chatfield one got done now, because he's already with the team and he was an unrestricted free agent. So that's why they could kind of announce it now. With Jacob Slavin, since he is under contract, his extension period kicks in July 1st. So that's why they have to wait for an official announcement on that day. So that's why you kind of saw Chatty get taken care of now with an announcement, while we're waiting for a Slavin one, which I believe we are about 10 days away, 10 or 11 days away now. So yeah, we should hopefully know something soon within the next couple weeks about it being official. But yeah, it's good to see that, Eric Tulsky has already gotten some moves already done, and possibly another one with a cornerstone to your defense and your franchise. And I think we're both in agreement. 74 is going to get retired and put in the rafters next to Wesley, Francis, and Brendan Moore. Because while the Hurricanes Hall of Fame is great, Jacob Slavin is a guy whose number is going to get retired, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm in agreement.
I kind of figured as the 2 Jacob Slavin, the biggest Jacob Slavin fans, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
of course, we do have a couple of things coming up. There's been some trade rumors and a couple of trades that have gone on that will have kind of what we said last episode, kind of threw some things out the window. But first, we got to finish talking about some more of our sponsors. Hey, it's summertime. It's time to go see. I've got 2 concerts lined up. I'm so excited. Catch me out there at Sam Hunt, Bankino coming to Raleigh. And I know recently we had Maggie Rogers and I always butcher her name, so I'm not even going to try to say it. But there's been so many concerts going on recently. You got it, Red Hat, Walnut Creek, PNC has stuff all the time. So of course we have to talk about getting your great deal at SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek, of course, for sponsoring as brand ambassadors. We love them. We take advantage of them. We tell our friends and family because $20 off is absolutely fantastic. SeatGeek is a ticketing app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They put a 0 to 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or a bad deal. Green is good, red is bad. And our viewers get $20 off their first ticket purchase with our code, thesurgecast. Click. Like it's so easy. Like it clicks. It clicks. It's beautiful. $20 off. I mean, if you're gonna get even a lawn ticket where it's maybe like $60 to $50, you get $20 off. It's like a $20 or $30 ticket for a great show. Just make sure you stay hydrated because it's really hot outside. But of course, remember our code, thesurgecast, and go check out SeatGeek. Tell us what shows you're going to. I mean, if you're going to Sam Hunt, see you there. But yeah, if you're not doing that, and I know there's a lot of people. We'll talk about it a little bit. The yard sale, I know a lot of people were getting some hockey equipment. But I think there's another local place that people that are either in beer leagues or their kids needing a little extra hockey help, they can go to, right, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to our OG sponsor of Primo X Hockey, go online to primoxhockey.com, use code SurgeCast at checkout, you get 20% off your order, and you also get free shipping as well if you go do that. If you prefer going to the actual store, it's 1401 East Diggs Drive right there in Raleigh, 10 minutes from the arena. So you're going to be supporting local. And from what I've heard, Kat, their skate machine's up and running now. They're fully operational, just like the Death Star. So if you want to get your skate sharpened for $5, you can go do it at their warehouse. They got amazing things as well. They got sticks. They're getting a lot of great deals with all these manufacturers now. Outdoor, indoor pucks, laces. You know, they even got hoodies, flags, koozies, anything you can think of. Primo X Hockey's got it. They're amazing. They're an amazing group of guys over there. They do a lot of great stuff, and like I said, they're growing really fast in just what they're able to do. So if you are looking to hook yourself up for beer league or your kids, you know, travel leagues or anything you can think of. Even I know the high schools are, you know, really gearing up too. So if you have some kids playing high school hockey, I know it's club, but you know, there's a lot of things you can do there as well. So like I said, make sure to go to primoxhockey.com, use code SurgeCast at checkout for your 20% off on your order. You get free shipping in the United States, or if you can go to the actual store, let them know that we sent you here from the SurgeCast, and they might hook you up with something. So big shout out to Primo X Hockey for being our OG sponsor since day one and being with us as we are now officially into episode 43 of our 3rd full season here at the SurgeCast. So big shout out to them for their support.
Yeah. So again, thank you to all our sponsors. Thanks again to all of you guys for, you know, sticking through it. But we love to talk about our sponsors that are giving us a chance to really help promote us, and we also promote them, and also our listeners. We love to give you little deals here and there because
all Sebastian Aho discounts. They're all Sebastian Aho discounts.
Sebastian Aho discounts are a beautiful thing.
Can't get it wrong.
But of course, so like I was saying, we have to talk about some of the trade rumors, of course. We talked about a little bit the Markstrom trade, but also there was an extension of a player that we kind of talked about 2 weeks ago, that we were like, maybe that would be a possibility, but never mind.
Yeah, Philip Hronek actually signed an 8-year extension with the Vancouver Canucks. So the 26-year-old RFA is going to be staying in Vancouver.
8 years for how long? Or I mean, for how much?
I think it was over 7. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I know it was 8 years. Basically, you can nix that possible deal because I don't know who else the Hurricanes could even get from Vancouver that's even available, because originally they were linked to Elias Pettersson, got extended. Hronik got extended. So as of right now, who really knows? But I think in terms of what the market is going right now, with the fact that you look at Markstrom getting traded for a draft pick and a player, Darcy Kemper gets traded for PLD, it does make things very, very interesting for the Hurricanes of what do you do with Martin Necas? Do you go and just go trade him for a straight up goalie, or do you go trade him for a package? And who's still available too? So, I mean, a lot of different options that
Well,
you
apparently
can go
we've gotten
on,
a lot of concrete trade offers.
It's just
But
nothing's been met yet. Yeah.
We want to say yes to, because I don't think this is gonna. We're not giving him up for pennies. Like, if we give up Necas, it's gonna be for something
AHL ready now.
Worthwhile.
Yeah, AHL ready now. You could look at a mid-tier prospect. You could look at picks as well. It just depends on who's willing to make the sacrifice to go trade their assets now and kind of open their window now rather than down the road. So I don't know. There's a lot of different options. Like I said, I know supposedly from Frank Saravalli, he's saying that the Blackhawks are interested, the Red Wings, the Bruins. Used to be the Canucks now. I don't know about that. Maybe Calgary, but I don't know who you get from Calgary that's even left. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with Martin Necas, and I know everyone's already sick of it. I know I've talked about it so much. I'm like, I don't even know. At this point, wake me up when it happens or it doesn't happen, because it's going to be a long summer if we're still trying to figure out what to do with Martin Necas.
Yeah. I mean, with what the cap went up, it feels a little bit more possible with different things, but yeah, apparently things are going to probably heat up with the upcoming draft. But
I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly, Kat, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a draft day, if we see Necas get moved on draft day for day 1. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll
have to see. There's just so many things up in the air, and I feel like last time we speculated on so much that now my brain is like, no more, just wait.
That's the bad thing of the last couple seasons. We're like, oh, pretty much we just got to add pieces here and there, and now it's like we have like so many roster spots available. Like, okay, who can we go get? How can we fit the cap? We got all these UFAs, we got these RFAs. What do we do next? Yeah, and now we have like guys in the front office leaving. Yeah, it's a lot for us right now. We're going through it, trying to figure out what's next for the Hurricanes for sure.
Yeah, very busy off season, busier than like we all expected it to be busy, but it just feels even more so. But recently, I got to experience. Let's talk a little about it. I got to experience the Canes yard sale for the first time.
It was your first time going? Okay.
First time going. I've been around for it, but it's always been on weekends where I've had other stuff going on, or I didn't know who I wanted to drag out there with me or like be committed. But of course, our social media producer-esque, my boyfriend, was all about it. He was like, I want some team issued gear. He was all about it. He made a game plan. He was the one who packed up everything, and I was like, all I had to do was wake up and go.
The fact that he had it planned out speaks to how he's great. That's just awesome. For the fact that he's like, you know what? No, it's almost like from what Alex Warren told us when him and Kelly first started dating, and the fact that he was a bigger Hurricanes fan than she is, and now it's like the reverse where she's a bigger Hurricanes fan than he is. I feel like you've created a monster.
Oh yeah, the way and then I think they recently posted about themselves about like wanting one of them planning or one of them being anxious about something, and I was like, oh my god, I'm Alex and he's Kaylee. Like, that's how our personalities are about this now.
Yes, that's the comparison I'm bringing. It's like you found your Kaylee in your boyfriend. I
found my Kaylee.
You found your Kaylee.
So the lots opened at 5. Apparently they did this year a little bit different than past, but again, I don't have that fully like experience to be able to tell. But
I know it's season tickets. I know it's season ticket members first always, and then it's
season ticket members were from 8 to 11, I think, and then the general came in after. The lots opened at 5, so we got there around between 5 and 5:15. That alarm at 4:30 was maybe the worst things I've ever heard. And so we got there and literally pulled in and I saw so many cars already. And I was like, these have to be workers. There's no way. And then, nope, there was a line. I think he even did a head count. I was half asleep in the chair and he was walking around, but he said there might have been like maybe a little over 100 people in front of us already.
Oh my
And
gosh.
while we were getting breakfast, because they did set up, I think the Backyard Bistro set up a little thing for breakfast there. So while he was getting me,
clutch move. That was clutch.
Yeah. Oh, that breakfast burrito I was alive after that. I was alive. I was not alive before that. I was alive after that.
Yeah, what a clutch move by the bistro to be like, you know what, we see an opportunity here. Bring breakfast food.
We heard the first person apparently in line got there at I think noon the day before on Friday.
Oh yeah, my
that was
gosh.
Our reactions. Richie looked at me and he goes, I was at work. I was like, I know, I was
noon
too.
On Friday. Oh my gosh. Like, so you're just, they have to have like a whole setup at that point. Like if you're there from noon the day before, no, you got to have a whole setup at that point. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then I think someone else said they got there at like maybe between midnight and 4. But so I guess I don't really know. They said the parking lots opened at 5, so I guess maybe they parked out on the road and then were able to just come straight in. I honestly,
probably dropped. They were probably dropped off too, possibly.
Maybe. Which would have sucked because if you had chairs and stuff, then you had to like carry. Well, actually, some people just ditched them on the lawn. But we put them back in the car before we went in. So yeah, it started moving about 8. The line started moving, and they kind of had people go in like groups. So we probably got in maybe between 8:30 and 9. We finally got inside.
That's not too.
It wasn't bad. It just started to get really hot then, so I was really glad we got inside. And it was awesome. Like they had it set up really well. There was so much stuff. They had people around to help with like gloves and sizing of jerseys and different things like that. They had people around to like help assist with that.
That's good.
Yeah, so you just kind of had to go. You kind of had to go in with like a mindset of what you wanted because otherwise you'd be overwhelmed. Which I was. I had a mindset of what I wanted, and I was still overwhelmed. But we were able to grab a couple of good things. One interesting note, though, by the time we got in, I did not see a single Jarvis thing. I'm going to tell you right now, anything that was Jarvis was gone by the time we got in there. There was tons of sticks, tons of player sticks. Like and there was everyone, and there were even like older players we had like a season or so ago. So many sticks. Ahos was starting to dwindle a little bit. You had Stahl, Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single Jarvis stick to be found. Every other player could not find a Jarvis stick.
After season he had, I think pretty much everyone's on the Seth Jarvis train at this point. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I think I saw someone. I didn't see a lot of hauls like I did last year. Usually, I guess maybe I was just too busy and I missed it. I think I saw someone getting an Ethan Bear jersey nameplate, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's good to see, But yeah,
there was cool things. They had a lot of authentic jerseys, but they were like older, lot of older players. The foundation had a lot of like very much older players.
Yeah, I saw. Great. I think I saw someone got I think someone got a Martin Gillena Hockey Fights Cancer jersey. I'm like, wow, that is old school to get a Martin Gillena one. I think there was like blank Whaler jerseys with certain numbers if someone got called up. Practice jerseys too for pretty much any occasion. I can't believe someone actually. The craziest thing that I saw that was for sale was the hot and ice tubs with the logos were for sale, and someone actually bought one of them, and that was $2.
Yep, and then like big old banners that they wave, that Stormy waves. It was a crazy amount of things that were they were really funny. Also update. He told me I actually have the exact timeline or whatever. So actually we were No, I'm not. There was more. There's 250 people apparently in front of us.
Oh my gosh.
And the fifth in line got there at like 2. So like, if you want to get there, and if you want to get someone very specific like Jarvis, if you want to do this next year, you got to get there early. You got to get there early to get that stuff. But if you're just going there for some like half off merch, maybe a player stick, a couple of cool little things, like roll up there about the time that the lots open, and you'll be fine. Because there were still limited team issued hoodies, helmets, game worn jerseys, all older, all sticks available. There was merch, sticks and equipment, all that fun stuff. So pretty much our haul. We got an Aho stick. I saw people walking out with like while I was in line inside waiting to like fully get in. There were some people at the beginning walking out with like, I'm gonna say like 6 to 7 sticks, which blows my mind because those sticks were like minimum $100.
No,
So
yeah, depending on who you get. I think the Slavin one that I got, big thanks to the Warrens, I think that was like $100 by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. They range, I think, 100 to 150. So people dropping
depends
that
on who
it is. Sticks alone.
Yeah,
wild to me. But
see, luckily for me, there was one guy I wanted to get automatically, and it's Jacob Slavin. So that it's like you gotta know what you want. I didn't look for his
because I already had gotten the signed one from the auction, which was nice.
Right, of
but
course.
We got Aho, so I can get it signed.
Well, you got a helmet, Brennan Lemieux stuff.
Yep, we got a helmet, which is fun. Richie has been wearing it around the house all day long. Honestly,
I could tell. I could tell it's not Lemieux because if you look at the ward marking on the helmet, that's the older ward marking. So I'm curious to see who.
Well, it has the 20th anniversary logo on it.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to look that up. 20th.
You can. I already did, and is that Oakley on this one? I don't know. I already did at one point, and I don't remember his name because it wasn't a name that like jumped out to me. But yeah, we were watching the Stanley Cup playoffs, and he decided to put this on, and he got Whalers leg warmer pull-on things, and he put those on, and he had his actual Lemieux like sweatshirt. He was running around. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've created a monster.
You pretty much
So got those. So I got. If you're watching the YouTube version, I have a zip up team issued zip up hoodie. It's very lightweight. It just says Canes on it. For a minute I thought it was Rod's, but now that I'm like wearing it, I'm like, there's no way Rod could have fit into this. I have a signed DraftKings picture, which is really cool.
That is really cool. Now, see, when was the 20th anniversary season for us? Because you're talking what? That would be. Would that be 90? Would that be the 16, 17?
I think it was right before. I think it was right before 18, 19, wasn't it? Was it 17? So
27. Okay, yeah. Because I'm trying to remember what it was. One specifically, our 20th season one. So because they do those things so differently, where it's like, okay, which one is actually your 20th and when's and stuff like that.
If you did a name, I could probably tell you who it was, but
I can tell you who it is. Jules is going to be very jealous. That's Elias Lindholm. He was 28 in the 17-18 season.
I don't think that's who it was. Sorry. I mean, I do think you're right on that. When I looked it up, I didn't think that's who it was, but maybe I'm wrong. Our listeners can yell at us while we talk about this, of course.
I mean, hey, unless we're saying hockey reference is completely wrong.
Hi guys, Kevin against Blaster.
I know it said that it was Elias Lindholm for 17-18.
So the 25th. The 25th was last year. You can hear my brain.
Yeah, it's
circling.
Yeah, because I have a 20th anniversary.
It was 17-18. 17-18.
Then it's you have an Elias Lindholm helmet then.
Oh,
that's
cool.
who was 28 then for the team back then. I know the listeners are like, it was a Lindholm. Guys, I can't remember half the guys' numbers anymore, to be honest, who's not been with us for a while. So, yeah, you snagged yourself an Elias Lindholm helmet. So, Jules is going to be very jealous.
Love that. I don't know who I thought.
Yeah, I could tell by the word marking that it was.
Oh, I see Lindholm. Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
I swear I looked this up. Maybe I looked up the wrong year and I saw 20. Oh.
Were you thinking like Alexander Semin or something like that from way back?
Oh, I saw. Oh, is this all time? I think this is all.
Either way,
I'm gonna send you this name because I can't read it. Like I don't know how to say it. This is who I thought it was, and I was like, okay, but I wasn't sure how to say it. But I mean, if it's Lindholm, that's even better.
If we're talking 17, 18, yeah, then I'm thinking it's Elias Lindholm. Oh, Yanni Kukkonen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It came up when I looked it up because I was trying to look it up to remember, and that came up, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, Yanni Kukkonen. Maybe no. I think it's Lindy. So there you go. Great steal. What a pick.
I think they shared that number because it says he was 2017 for the Hurricanes. It was also Kukkonen. Either way, that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll go.
We'll go with Lindy. There you go.
I'd rather Lindy.
The fact that it's all the visor on it too is pretty sick. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna leave it on
he had to wipe it off. It was a little dirty.
I can imagine so.
Yeah.
Because that's a Warrior, right? Okay, yeah, it's a Warrior helmet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all in all, I recommend it for people. I will say probably by the time it gets to regular season, general public, it's probably a lot more of a merchandise sale. Because I think a lot of the like really niche like player stuff is probably gone because when we were leaving, it was still season ticket members and a lot of the stuff like there's still stuff there, but again, like Jarvis stuff was gone. I would think most of Aho sticks were probably gone by general.
Yeah. If you're going to the general public, you're probably like you said, it could be some merch, or there could be like some like maybe.
I mean, it's so cool stuff. It's so cool stuff. Like you could get.
Probably
you can get some really cool hoodies and like dry fit and all that stuff for like maybe $20, and normally it would be a whole bunch more.
That's not too bad. Like you said, like
overall, it was a good experience. I was exhausted the rest of the day, but I mean,
I get it. Yeah, because every time they do their sales thing, I was at work the last few years, so I've never been able to go. But hopefully, with the new job that I got, knock on wood, if it aligns with it next year, maybe we'll see. Yeah. Who knows? But I would love to go up there or be like, hey, can you like go get me some stuff? If you know in the know of someone who's going, but yeah, that's awesome.
Always ask if you have friends that are in town or friends that are going. I would ask them. I mean, there's no limit on what you can grab, so people can grab stuff for you. And it's fun. It's a little shopping experience, and you're going to be tired. And you're probably going to need a nap and some breakfast afterwards. But just like all the other Canes events, I highly recommend it. Because it's a fun little. It's like it doesn't happen a lot, and you're like a lot of stuff goes into it. But when you're done with it, you're like, that was so worth it.
Oh yeah, because you're getting team issued stuff that you never get throughout the regular season in general, and you're getting it on a good discount too. So it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're kind of hesitant on buying stuff through the regular season, you can almost wait for the yard sale and go and get stuff on the cheap and go get team issued stuff to the certain guys. So if you want certain players' hoodies and stuff like that, like you can't go wrong with that, or sticks or whatnot. So it's a pretty quick way to add to your collection if you're wanting to get something at a discount. So
there
you go.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps up this episode of the SurgeCast. Again, we had some fun little updates for you guys. And we have kind of decided with how spread out everything has been, we're kind of going to give some bi-weekly episodes now because there haven't really been like a lot of crazy stuff going on that it's just give you a whole bunch of updates.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of like the tough part we're in right now with the fact that the Chatty news kind of took a little bit. Slavin's kind of we're on a holding pattern for that. Eric Tulsi just got named GM, but other than that, it's not been a whole lot in terms of Kane stuff. And I mean, we could do general NHL stuff too, but it's kind of easier if we just kind of space it out a little bit. So right now we are kind of on like Kat said, on a bi-weekly schedule. And then probably once the draft and free agency starts, we're probably going to go back to our usual every week drop just because we both know how crazy free agent's going to be. Plus, it'll be the kickoff to see. So I know our episode after the draft, we will officially be kicking off season 4 of the SurgeCast. So good news, everyone. We are renewed for another season, as they say in TV media. So, we are coming back for season 4 right after the draft. So that's when our new season starts up. So right now, bi-weekly, but we should be looking at possibly... Actually, Kat, I think if we are going bi-weekly, our first episode will be after the draft because the draft is next Friday. So that first week of July, depending on what day we do it, season 4 will officially kick off for the SurgeCast for our next show.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah. So actually, this is our last episode of season 3. Then we didn't even realize it. So there you go.
But hey, we are excited to bring to you any updates over the off season. Of course, if there's anything super, super crazy, we might pop in for a little short, like, hey, heads up, this just dropped. But again, thank you for listening. Thanks for sticking with us through 3 seasons so far. Thank you to all our amazing sponsors. Of course, we have DraftKings, SeatGeek, Primo, Manscaped, and soon you'll see it down on the bottom if you're watching on our YouTube version, but we do have BetterHelp coming as well. So we'll love to be able to promote them as well as soon as they give us their little, what they would love us to talk to you about. But we do have some friends and family that have used BetterHelp, and so we'd love to have them as a sponsor and kind of tell you guys a little bit about them because everyone can use therapy. So thank you for joining us for this episode. It's been a little smodge podge of little info that's trickled out across the weeks. But thanks for joining us. And before we go, of course, Zach, where can they find you and where can they find the network?
Yes. So the network, you can go to the hockeypodcastnetwork.com. You can check out THPN of all the podcasts they have over there. Every team you can think of, they got it covered. They also got some original content as well with Terry Ryan from Shorzy. Those got college hockey as well. So make sure you go check out all of that. If you want to follow
the remaining podcasts about the Oilers or the Panthers, I think they just still have some fun podcasts going on about their team's runs in the Stanley Cups. And also there might be some live watch parties going on, but not sure.
Yes.
But if there is, THPN will announce it.
Yeah, just go check out their YouTube. It's pretty simple. Just look up the Hockey Podcast Network on YouTube. Pretty easy to find. If you want to follow me, I'm at onetruezach on X. If you want to follow me on Instagram for more of the, I guess, personal stuff as well, that's Zach R. Martin 22. If you want to check out my writing, yes, Kat, I write. Before I beat you to that joke, the Hockey Writers. Got a lot of stuff going on over there. Going to have some stuff probably coming out today and tomorrow because there's a lot of catching up to do. Also do some AHL stuff with the Calder Times. You can also check out my other podcast that I do at Locked On Hurricanes. Just dropped today's episode. Since we're dropping this Thursday night, you probably already heard my season grade with Andrei Svechnikov. So go make sure to go check that out. And yeah, so just been pretty busy with all that stuff. But Kat, before we actually go, where can people find you in this podcast?
Of course, if you look up, honestly, just look up the SurgeCast on any social media platform, whether it be X, Twitter, Twix, Instagram, YouTube, the SurgeCast, and you'll find us. We also have link trees that you can find all the links to all our different social media platforms. And if you're looking for me, you can find me on Twix at caniacchic and on TikTok at KVTHunter74. But yeah, nothing's changed. You can find us. You can find us through all of our social medias. You can DM us and be like, hey, where do I follow you? If you're DM us, you probably already know where we are, though. So we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We hope you all had amazing Father's Days, and congrats to all the fathers on the Hurricanes as well, and hope they had a great holiday. Maybe that's one little perk of, looking on a bright side of not being in the playoffs is that you get to spend that time with family. But again, thanks for joining us for season 3, episode 43 of the SurgeCast. Until next time, I'm Kat.
I'm Zach.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye, guys.